Hey there guys, gals, non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things. I upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Time with some extra videos sprinkled in here and there. I am an independent author, an avid reader, and a cat mom of 3, and today I thought we would go over Boudicca by PC Cast. Let's get into it. Okay, so this book came out this year, 2025, in January, and is about 480 pages in the hardback, which is what I have here. I was able to get this at an independent bookstore, and let's start with the book blurb. From PC Cast, #1 New York Times best-selling author of the landmark House of Night urban fantasy series comes an epic, lusty, magic-filled romantasy about British warrior Queen Boudicca, perfect for fans of Sue Lynn Tan and Madeline Miller. In Roman-occupied Britain, the Iceni tribe crowns an extraordinary new queen. Tall and flame-haired, Boudicca is devoted to Andraste, the Iceni's patron goddess, known for her raven familiar, her fierceness, and her swirling blue tattoos. Boudicca and her 2 young daughters will carry the tribe forward in dangerous times. Roman tax collector Catus Decianus, expecting weakness in a female ruler, launches a devastating attack on the tribe's stronghold. Boudicca and her family barely survive, but they refuse to bend the knee. She calls a war council, bringing together her most trustworthy allies, including her childhood friend Ron, now a powerful druid seer, and a horse master Maldwin, whose devotion to Boudicca runs deeper than warrior to queen. Surprising the Romans, Boudicca's armies attack the wealthy cities of Camuldunan, Londinium, and Verulamium. As snow falls, the Celts retreat to a hidden valley to plot their assault on the returning Roman legions, determined to force the invaders from Britain. But in a jagged ice of winter, the druid Ron foresees a tragic end to Boudicca's rebellion. Although the defeat of the Iceni is spelled out in signs by the god, Ron swears she will alter the future and save her queen. Now battle-hardened Boudicca must put her trust in the powers of the otherworld to save her from the traitors in her midst and from Rome's mighty legions. Inspired by the rich history of Boudicca's attack on Roman Britain, best-selling author PC Cast crafts an epic mythic retelling of one of Time's most legendary female warriors. Okay, so a couple things about the book blurb. This is not a romantasy. A romantasy is a romantic fantasy. This one has romantic elements to it, but it is a story of female rage and vengeance. And this book makes you feel her pain and her fear and her determination and her rage and her vengeance. It makes you... I've never read anything by PC Cast before. Her other books just didn't seem to spark interest in me. But when I saw this one, I had to pick it up because I grew up hearing stories of Boudicca and how she is a role model for women and femme people everywhere. She was a real person. The Romans came in and they raped her 2 daughters and they beat her, flayed the flesh from her back, and tried to end her and humiliate her, and instead she razed 3 of their cities to the ground. Just burned them. Like, she burned London to the ground before it was London. While she wasn't successful in destroying and casting out Britain, they were cast out eventually. She was a driving force in that. She was a big proponent in that during Nero's reign. Fun fact, I share a birthday with Emperor Nero, which is kind of cool, kind of awful, but I think that's fun. I always joke that I should learn to play the fiddle, which didn't exist. Nero didn't actually fiddle as Rome burned, but that being said, she was a real person, and it takes liberty because they make her a bisexual queen, and they say the epic, lusty, magic-filled romantasy. There's not a lot of magic. We don't have, spell users and witches and your typical magic using. It's more that the old gods of Brigantia and Andraste are there, and they give signs and omens and the seer Ron has to interpret them. It's not really so much magic using, and I wouldn't call this lusty. She has two bedfellows. Her husband has passed a long time ago, and she has two bedfellows, and it's mild spice. It's nothing more than you would see on like it's not even like HBO level spice. It's like AMC level spice. Like it's got some spice to it. I wouldn't say this is a children's book, but for a mature young adult or a new adult, meaning someone over the age of 18 but under the age of 25, this would be a phenomenal read, and this would be an age-appropriate read. The author does take liberties. This is a work of historical fantasy. Again, I would not call this a romantasy, and I think it does the book a disservice to call this a romantasy. It is told first person, through Boudicca's perspective, and she travels to the other world, to the world of the dead, in talking to the gods and escaping the Romans. It's extremely well written. This one is a 5 of 5 stars for me. For spice, I'd say 1.5, not 2, but more than 1, so 1.5 chili peppers on the spice scale. And I think this is an instance where the book blurb does the book a disservice, because I was expecting this to be full of magic and like King Arthur style magic, because we're almost in the same time period, because this is about 60 BC, 60 Common Era, and it's not. It's really not. And the book is so much better than the blurb leads you to believe it is, because the blurb leads you to believe that you're going to get something fantastical and magic-y and sweeping romance, because a romantasy, you get swept off your feet in the fantasy world. And that's not this. This is not a romantasy. Like, I think they called it a romantasy because that's trending. But again, it's doing a disservice. And it's a book about feminine rage and women's rights as well as women's wrongs. That this book is... But if you go into it expecting an epic, lusty, magic-filled romantasy, you're not going to get it. Yes, it is good for fans of Madeline Miller, that it's kind of a similar vibe if Madeline Miller was a little more bloodthirsty. I haven't read Sue Lynn Tan. I probably will. This is not what the tin says it is. It's so much better and so much more well written. It does get into the politics quite a bit, and you feel the pain as the last of the Druids are murdered by the Romans, and you feel their pain as her village, her stronghold for her people is razed, and right before their big holy day of Beltane, of May Day, they're supposed to be rejoicing and feasting and all this gloriousness, and instead they're decimated and they come back from it. This is a story of survival, of thriving in the face of adversity. And like I said, I cannot recommend this book enough. Have you read Boudicca? Have you read anything else by PC Cast? Should I look at her other books? I know they're not historically based. I do love a historical fiction and a historical fantasy quite a bit. Let me know in the comments down below if I should read more of PC Cast, or if this is more of a one-off from her. And maybe I won't like the other ones because they're too fantasy-filled. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.